Good morning. How's everybody doing? I got up real early this morning. I had to drive my daughter to work, but I thank God that, everything went smooth. Hit a little bit of traffic. And before I get into what I want to say, I was thinking about, we're stuck in traffic, and I've been retired for almost a year now. And I've been thinking about going back to work, and I'm still praying on that. And I said to my daughter, I don't miss this. I don't miss getting up so early in the morning. I don't miss being stuck in traffic and the rat race. There's so many people. I live in a city environment. So many people, and people just rushing to work, people who are running late. And, I'm hurrying up a little bit because me and my daughter were cutting it close for her start time. And so anyway, I'm like, do I really want to go back to work? I don't know. But like I said, I'm still praying because, if I do go back, maybe it'll be part-time. I don't know. I'll see. But I don't miss that. I have gotten used to having my time to do things when I want to do. I'm not on any set schedule per se. I don't have to get up any particular time. I don't have to eat breakfast at any particular time. I don't have to do things on a schedule as, people who are working do. Yeah, I do try to keep a schedule because it's good to be diligent and be on point. And because if not, then you become lazy and you start slacking, and that's not good. So anyway, what I wanted to talk about today is that I find many people, I believe probably everybody does at one point in their life or not, or other times, I might have found in my life many times, where we want to know what the purpose of our life is. I mean, what's the purpose? It's human nature to say, why are we here? And if you go in the Bible, there's many things that you can find, as to why, people ask those questions. What's our purpose in life? And I like to believe that, like I know Christians always saying that, what's your will, Lord? What do you want me to do? What's your goal for me? What are your plans for me? And God has a huge plan, a big plan for us. The problem is that we try to see ahead. We want to see the end of the plan. We don't want to see the plan come into fruition. And as I was driving my daughter this morning, there's a lot of buildings being built up in my city, and I'm looking at some of them that are almost completed, and some just the foundation has been laid down. And so I think about this, and I say, our life is like that. The foundation has to be laid first, and the foundation should be God, should be Jesus Christ, should be our faith, and we build on that. Okay, the Lord builds on that, and He continues to add more material, more floors, windows and everything. And in our lives, it's the same way. The Lord has a plan for our finish. Okay, for when we're going to be done, we're going to be completed. But along the way is a process, and so instead of wanting to build the roof, we should ask the Lord, teach us how to get to the next level, to the next floor, to the next day. So when we wake up in the morning, we should ask the Lord, what is your plan? What is your purpose? What is your goal for me, Lord, today? Not 20 years from now. What is your goal and your purpose for me today? And I believe that if we fulfill that, and if we are faithful to His goal and purpose in our lives for today, that every day we're going to be adding one more floor until the day of completion. And that is the day when we are before Him. So we read a story, Ecclesiastes. We just finished in our church, the men's Bible study. We finished going through Ecclesiastes. And one of the brothers this Sunday, one of the brothers asked a question. And it was beautiful how everybody was, chiming in and giving their opinion or their understanding of what the answer to his question was. And if I have time, I'll get into that here, so stay to the end. So we want to find what the purpose of life is. What are we to do? If you go read the whole book of Ecclesiastes, and if you haven't before, and people would say, well, don't, because I'm going to read the end, don't say the end because you're going to spoil it. That's the beauty of the Word of God. You can read the Bible, you can read every book, and every time you go back, there's something new, something different, something greater that we find in it. Because the Word of God is alive, and I truly believe that it's a living Word, and it applies to us every day. And in our situation, you might be going through something different today than you did a month ago, a year ago. But you dive into the same proverb, into the same psalm, into the same verses, and it's speaking to you differently. It's speaking to you in your situation today. It might have spoken to you differently whatever it was in the past that you read it, that you needed to hear it, but it does that. So I'm not really going to spoil the book telling you the end. At the end, we find a Solomon, the richest man and wisest man that ever lived. And he had so much money, he has so much wealth, so much power, and he did so much. I don't want to get into whether he did godly things or ungodly things, which we know he didn't. But anyway, so he didn't do godly things. He did many ungodly things. That's what I meant to say. So anyway, so at the end of the story in Ecclesiastes, the wisest man that ever lived, Solomon, he tried so much. He did so much. He tells us at the end what the purpose of man is, what the purpose of your life is. And in Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13, he says, when all has been heard, the conclusion of the matter is, the conclusion of your life is to fear God and keep his commands, because this is all for humanity. For God will bring every act to judgment, including every hidden thing, whether good or evil, whether good or evil. Fear God. That's our purpose in life. That's our number one purpose in life, is to fear God, to keep his commandment. And then he's going to have a whole bunch of other purposes and goals and things that he wants to accomplish daily, monthly, and yearly. And if we allow the Lord to work in and through us, he will build that beautiful structure, floor by floor, using us if we are in obedience. You know, I think back to the building where, you know, we have the foreman. Okay, we have the engineers, we have the foreman, and we have the workers. And the foremans are to tell the workers, like, what's the next step? What are we doing next? We're putting the electrical systems. We're putting in the plumbing. We're putting in the floor. We're putting in the walls, the window. He doesn't tell his workers, go and put the roof. It doesn't make sense. So the foreman is given instruction and direction. And so is the Lord giving us instruction and direction how to live daily. So I want to get real quick to, this video is getting a little longer than I wanted to make it, but I want to get real quick to this, that in our Bible study, one of the men said, why do so many Christians live defeated, like a defeated life? They live as if they are defeated. And so obviously everybody started giving their, you know, interpretation, their understanding of why they believe that was. And I gave mine. And as I was driving this morning, I was thinking about that. I was thinking about that study, and I was thinking about, like, why do some Christians live a defeated life? And I believe that to a certain extent, not completely, and I might be wrong, and I just say this is my opinion. I believe that the Lord allows us to live a somewhat defeated life, even though we have victory through him. Even somewhat a defeated life, because it could be this, that if we don't feel defeated, if we feel that we've accomplished everything, that we're being successful in everything, why would we need him? Why would we need him? The Lord allows defeats to come into our lives so that we can lean on him more. And I think about how when things are going so well sometimes, if you've gone through it, sometimes things are going so well, so perfect, and you're like, wow, this is great. And then all of a sudden something happens. You're like, wait a minute, what happened? But then if you look back at when the things were going great, how much did you lean on the Lord? How much did you pray? How much did you spend time in his word? Isn't the world like that? That they turn to the Lord only when things are bad, only when they need him. You should be turning to him. You should be thanking him and praising him just as much when things are going well than when things are going bad. Because God is not, to be used like that only for when things are bad. Yes, he's going to be there. But when he brings us through those bad times, we're to give him honor, praise, and glory. And that's our purpose, to fear God. And we fear him by loving him, by trusting him, by giving him honor and glory, because it's due to him. God bless you, my friends. I pray you have a nice day.